Hey, third graders. Today we're going to talk about the Soo Locks and how it did touch mining a little bit. So, your learning target is to explain what are locks and why the Soo Locks are an important part of Michigan's history. So, look at this first picture with the arrow pointing down of that river. Okay, that's what it looked like. It says, does that look easy for canoes filled with goods? Traders and Native Americans would have to carry or portage the canoes over land to go around the rapids and the rocks. They couldn't take their big canoes, so they'd get to that part of the river, they'd have to get out, carry things around, and then put everything back in the canoes to keep going. And then, as things grew and they used the Upper Peninsula for more mining, then we have those big freighters. How in the world would those big freighters be able to go over those those rocks? So on June 18, 1855, the steamer Illinois became the first boat to pass through the Soo Locks. The trip past the rapids of the St. Mary's River took less than an hour. Although the Soo Locks were difficult to build, they soon played an important role in America's industrial growth. For years, America had urged the U.S. government to support building a canal and locks at Sault Ste. Marie. Michiganians argued it would benefit both Michigan and the nation. Not everyone agreed. During one congressional debate, a Southern senator said that the Upper Peninsula was beyond the remotest settlement of the United States, and digging a canal there would be like placing one on the moon. This attitude changed in the mid 1840s with the discovery of copper and iron ore in the western Upper Peninsula. The minerals had to be shipped to Cleveland and Detroit for processing. But because of the rapids, all the goods had to be removed from the boat and ported around the rapids. This process took time and cost money. So on the map, you can see the Upper Peninsula where the copper and the iron, where the Soo Locks are now, and why that was important. That's where the rapids were, and they needed to get the copper and the iron ore to Cleveland and Detroit. Digging began during the summer of 1853. At the height of operations, almost 1,700 men were working on the canal. The men worked 12-hour days and were paid $20 a month. The work was hard, especially during the winter. On some wintry morning, workers had to look for tools that were covered by the previous night's heavy snowfall. A cholera epidemic also killed many workers. The Soo Locks were completed in May of 1855. To bypass the rapids, boats went through two locks. Each lock was 350 feet long, 70 feet wide, and had a lift of 9 feet. The locks were connected to a 1-mile canal. Sounds kind of confusing already. During the first summer, boats carried almost 1,500 tons of iron ore through the locks. 5 years later, that figure was 120,000 tons. When boats got larger, bigger locks were built. The newest lock opened in 1968. It's 1,200 feet long, 110 feet wide, and 50 feet deep. Today, the Soo Locks remain the world's busiest locks. So let's go through a little bit about how a lock works. Okay, if you look at the top boat, the red boat with the purple water, the gates open and the ship is going in and the water is at a low level. But if you look, if it's going to keep going forward, the water is very high. Okay, so if now the middle picture, the gate behind the ship closed and they pumped in water. Okay, so now the water level is as high as it was on the other side. So now on the bottom picture, the other gate opens now, and the water level is all even for the ship, so it can take off. Okay, if you look carefully at that picture on the left, the actual photograph, you can kind of see some of the gates in there that can open and close for the different ships. And the other thing I did in this assignment is I linked a couple of videos. One explains a lock a little bit better, and one kind of has a time lapse. And that one is just kind of fun to watch. and it shows the water going up and the water going down, the water going up, the water going down when different ships and boats are passing through the locks. So if you want to take a look at those, that's not really part of the assignment. It's part of the fun. But go ahead and enjoy those. Take the quiz before you do that. And I hope you think the locks are kind of cool. I think they're cool. Have a good day. Thank you.